We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I am your Dress Down CEO coming to you live from my hometown of Yonkers, New York. Thank you, everyone who makes the time. And this is what it is. It's all about making that time to get this valuable information that's going to take you far further than you ever possibly thought. Today, we have a show that's going to probably, as they all do, blow your mind because we have a wonderful, fantastic guest entering in just a few minutes. But as always, I want to thank everybody who, again, makes that time because Leverage Your Score is about you, folks. It's about you, about making sure that you have all of the right connections, the pieces. It's a puzzle out there. And if we can help you with making sure that you, again, how we do puzzles, go to those borders, get them corner pieces, get them edges, and then fill in that what you know is obvious on that inside pieces. And that's what these shows are all about. It's helping you leverage that score. It's helping you understand that you're going to need a partner. You're going to need a coach. You're going to need a mentor. You're going to need a tutor. You're going to need wonderful people in your lives that are going to be able to help you navigate through whatever the circumstances or conditions that might be in front of you that you can't yourself navigate through. And that's why I'm so elated and so excited to bring this young lady into because this is the decade of the women, of the woman. Doesn't matter where you're coming from. Look at Stacey Abrams. Look at clearly Michelle Obama. Look at our Vice President Kamala Harris. Look at all these beautiful, wonderful, amazing women who are doing some great things. CEOs of companies, vice presidents and presidents of companies, women who are doing their things. And I am so happy to bring in this woman who's doing her thing right here on Soul City Network. Let's go ahead and get past all of the other stuff and let's bring this wonderful lady in, Marie Dunn. Welcome to the program, Marie.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's so impressive. I hope I could live up to that standard, right?
Well, not only are you going to live up to that standard, but I believe in you, and everything that I've already learned from you thus far has been, again, just so warm for my heart. It lets me know that as a Black man, we should be supporting our Black women more than ever because you're making strides. You're doing things that we can't because you have that compassion. You have that love that we don't have in ourselves, and we're developing it as we move through. So tell our audience a little bit about yourself. Marie, it's all you.
So first, I want to say thank you so much. It's indeed an honor to be in this space, being in your greatness. I don't take that lightly. So I want to say I'm filled with so much gratitude. So who I am. First, I'm God's daughter. And I have many titles and many roles. One of my roles, it's actually a social worker. I'm an author. I'm a serial entrepreneur, if you ask me. But I think it's important for me to highlight that I'm also a migrant from the beautiful island of Jamaica. I am sun, I am fun, and all that great stuff. I love the warmth, right? And I'm here walking in my purpose.
Ooh.
I'm walking in my purpose. I understand who I am as an individual. And I am just so humbled and so grateful that God gave me this opportunity. Because if it wasn't for God, I would not be here creating and impacting and inspiring others to become the best version of who they are. Because it's all possible. You just got to give yourself permission.
Amen. Amen. I love the fact that, again, you're a woman of God, or you're a God's child, as we all should strive to be more and more like our Creator. So thank you for sharing that. I mean, and an immigrant. You came from Jamaica. And
Yes.
I know you're supposed to use that accent when you say Jamaica.
Yes, man. Yes, man. I use it when I need to, you know? There's a time and place for everything, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
There's
is.
a time and place for
And
everything.
it's nice to know that you're warm and open and fun, because I think that sometimes we take our lives a bit too serious. What keeps you that way? What really keeps you going in that jovial understanding?
So like I said, 27 years ago, the doctors gave up on me. They literally told my parents to go home and make funeral arrangements because there's nothing medically they could do to save my life.
Wow.
That was the defining moment in my life.
Ooh. Well,
I
maybe you don't mind share a little, because that really got me
I was
quiet here.
I was about to do that, right? So, in my younger years, I suffered from epilepsy, and while modeling, because I flirted with that, I enjoy doing that. And during I was vying for Miss Jamaica, sorry, and I while on stage, I had an attack, and I was rushed to the local hospital. Of course, I didn't have my medication on me at that time. By the time my family found out about it, they were there the next day and they started giving me my medication. Unfortunately, they could not stabilize me with my medication. And so I was rushed to one of the hospitals, the bigger hospitals in Jamaica. And when I got there, it was the same issue. They could not stabilize me, so they started giving me Valium. We all know Valium is a sleeping medication. I got an overdose. So with that overdose, I was comatose for 2 weeks. I was on life support machine. And literally, this is like a real life story. My sister came in the night before. They literally told my parents to go home, make funeral arrangements because there is nothing that they could do medically. They literally gave me 15% chance of living. The morning off, my sister came to visit me. When she got to my room, because by this time I was in ICU, I was not in my room. And someone told her they were taking my body to the morgue.
Mm.
Of course, she rushed out and she chased them down, stopped them, and she started pleading. And she reported to me that she kept saying, because I love food, we'll get into that. I'm a foodie. And she said to me, if you wake up, I will feed you dumplings and ackee and saltfish, which is our national dish, for the rest of my life. She said my hands started twitching. She said my hands started twitching. And they called the doctors and they took me back to the room. But just let's rewind for a second.
Mm.
When I woke up, I was so exhausted. For folks who has never had this experience of close encounter with mortality, I felt like I was traveling. I felt like I was traveling, and there was these men chasing me with a dagger. And out of the blues, there's this man on a white horse. Everything was white and pristine. Picked me up. I kid you not. And here I am today. The doctor says there's no medical explanation. But when God say yes,
Hmm.
nothing and no one can change that. And I think this is the catalyst to who I am today. And this is why I consider myself as such a powerful woman. And there's nothing you could tell me. If you ask me one word to describe who I am, that word is fearless.
Marie, thank you so much for sharing that. That again, goosebumps. I mean, you can't see them, but goosebumps. I am wow, and it's so not funny. It's unique that we all have that experience. That it's that one thing, and it's just like you said, a white bright light. When I learned how to speak German, it was kind of the same thing. I woke up one morning and it was like it felt like I was still in the dream, but I could see it also vividly, and it was just bright, and it just said, "You got it." Next thing I knew, I'm waking up and I'm just speaking to everybody. Hello, wie geht es Ihnen? Mir geht's gut. And it was just like that. So I mean, I kind of get the similarities, and you can't obviously compare the two, but that awakeness, that what just lets you know, okay, everything's going to be okay, and it's something about that light, something about that brightness, that what brings you back from. That was again, Marie. You are a true testament. So thank you so much for sharing that. And when your sister, I mean, because we're all foodies in some degree. It's like the skinny ones are the ones who eat the most. And I'm a foodie myself. What's some of your favorite dishes, if you don't mind me asking?
So prior to me changing my lifestyle,
Mhm.
because that's something that's we could also talk about. I was the traditional Jamaican woman. Of course, the oxtails, the rice and peas, the fried chicken, the curry chicken, the jerk pork, all of the above. Um, Again, I had another defining moment back in 2017. I'm a social worker, like I indicated before, and somehow, unfortunately, well, fortunately, now I say, I got injured while on the job. I was assaulted by a client and had two surgeries, was home, and fell into depression. During that time, I was so lost and I didn't have clarity. I could not understand what was going on. And fast forward, within my healing process, I had to do a total life change, meaning I had to seek a clinician for support, emotional support, because, like I said, I was sinking in such a dark space and couldn't figure out how to get out of it. I also developed and improved on my relationship with God. And then food. Food was a big thing. I had to change my eating habits
Mm.
because not only was the foods I was eating was contributing to my pain and the inflammation I had after surgery. And so I literally hired a health coach and he guided me through this process. So today I don't eat. I don't eat red meat. My brother likes to laugh at me. He's like, "You're a confused eater," because I rarely even. I don't even really eat fish. I'm mostly plant based, to be honest. I incorporate a lot of sea moss in my diet. And as we speak today, I'm supporting my brother because he decided he wanted to reset his body. Folks don't understand the importance of liquid meals. So we are
Mm.
doing a 5 day liquid meal fast. In fact, I'm also doing like raw foods. So what it means is just like a lot of high water content fruits and also vegetables. So pretty much that's it for me right now. In terms of like just my whole lifestyle change.
So you changed it all up. You said
Absolutely,
I need a more of a holistic or healthier approach versus
absolutely.
using the traditional what
Nutrition.
we tend
Yeah.
to always gear ourselves to. How is it easier financially to do that, or because I'm a money guy. I speak to the money terminology all the time, and I kind of always wondered, is it less, more, or is it about the same?
So when we talk about money and finances, right? I
Mhm.
think it's like an investment and you're front loading, so to speak, right? It is expensive to eat this way. I think again, this is one of the biggest issues that we see within our Black and Brown communities, not having the monies to be able to eat proper meal. I went to the supermarket yesterday just to pick up fruits, and I spent over $200 just on fruits, right? So when you think about it from that perspective, but on the back end, what I'm recognizing, I don't have to make those trips to the doctors anymore. So I'm
Ah,
saving on the copays and all of that. And I'm going to be honest with you, your health is your wealth. You can't put a price on it. Again, let's not think about how much this is going to cost because there are various means and ways of getting this.
spoken like a true business person. You're looking at the ROI versus just looking at the cost. And that's
Absolutely.
beautiful. Again, a lot of people don't have that understanding. That's why it's so important to, again, speak with business owners who can give the individual the perspective that, guess what? You can do this. You can do this. It doesn't matter what, how, you got to just get out of your own way and make it happen for you. And obviously, you are someone who is very resilient. So, again, tell us. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place because you're just so fascinating. Oh my goodness, you are so fascinating. So you got this company, Bold. Can you give us a little bit about Bold? What is it?
Absolutely. So I think it was James Baldwin who said, to accept one's past, one's history, is not the same as drowning in it, but learning to use it.
Mm.
So I made a conjecture and I made a decision to not sit around and allow self pity to be my crutch, because that's what I used to do. So, BOLD for me is an acronym. It's brilliantly overcoming life's disappointments, because we all can relate. Challenges and setbacks, it doesn't discriminate. We all go through that. But I think what sets us aside and what sets me aside is my impeccable ability to push through regardless of what happened. I embrace a challenge, and you can't tell me I can't get it done.
Hmm.
When you tell me I can't get it done, I'm going to show you how it's going to be done.
Speak to it.
So, bold also for me, it's, when you think about bold, you think about courage, you think about being a person who is fearless, right? And I made a conscious decision to create doors so I could enter my own doors when I embarked on my authorship journey, and recognized that a lot of folks said yes to me when they meant no.
Hmm.
A lot of folks said yes when they meant no. A lot of folks didn't even believe in me. They didn't even bother to respond to me. And so I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to create my very own bold show, and created my Bold Flamingo Publishing Company. What does that do for me? It allows me to control every aspect of my work, from the publishing process to the marketing process, and to how I show up in spaces. I'm not going to sit here and wait for folks to tell me yes. I'm going to create spaces and I'm going to make it happen, because I used to be that individual who allowed, when folks tell me no, I'm hurt and I get all emotional and I don't know what to do next. I think a lot of times when folks tell me no, it's actually an ammunition they're actually giving me. They're fueling everything that I have, because now I'm going to show you that you said no to me. It's okay. I'm self motivated, I'm driven, and I'm going to get it done. Bold also allows me to connect with others and to open doors for others that's traditionally wouldn't be open. So, pretty much that's bold for me in a nutshell.
And you said brilliantly overcoming life's discomforts.
Disappointments.
Disappoint, because I'm, again, like I said, I told you I tweet these things out, and I want to make sure I have it all set up properly. So when I put it out there again, these the hashtags. Again, Marie, I am so impressed with just the smallest fraction of the 18 minutes that we've had together, and you, again, impressive. Let's get into the real meat and potatoes of these questions that I want to ask you. And my apologies if it seems that I'm bouncing all over the place, because you're unique. Why did you decide to start your own business?
I decided to start my own business, like I alluded to before, because folks turned their backs on me.
Hmm.
When I decided to publish my first book and the whole process altogether, I felt excited. I was like, you know what? I have all these great friends. I have all these supports. I ain't got to worry about a thing, right? So I sat right here in my office and I drafted a nice crowdfunding letter. And this was also intentional for me to be in the space to have this interview, to allow folks to understand you got this, you could do it. Anyhow, back to what you were saying. And I sent out my crowdfunding letter, and Mr. Tyrone, I
Mm-hmm.
was pleasantly disappointed
Mm.
to the reality of what happened thereafter. No one responded to my email.
Wow.
I picked up the phone and I called individuals. I'm like, hey, did you ever get my email? Some folks said yes. And then I tried to process, like, I'm not asking you for a lot. I just need a little help.
Right.
And after that moment, I said, okay, no one believed in me. I believed in myself. And what I'm about to say to you is going to probably, like, I don't know what it's going to do to you.
Mhm.
But I've always driven a Mercedes Benz. And I said to myself, I can't give up my house because I have my family and I need a place to live. And I love my independence. So that's a no-no. I have a car. Do I really need a car? I am conveniently located to the trains, the buses, and everything. And so I turned in my Mercedes. I never got a car because I wanted to invest in me. And that's how I started my company. I went down to 161st. I registered my business. I got my logo created and I did everything the right way. I even hired an attorney to trademark my logo. This is how serious it is because this is not no funny business. This is a real businesswoman because I want to create generational wealth. This is not only for me, it is for my family as well. And it's also an indication to let folks know you can do it. You don't have to have everything in place. But what you need to do, your why must be greater than anything else. If you don't understand why it is that you're doing what you're doing, then listen, you're just going to fall for anything because it takes sacrifices. When the going gets tough, that's when you have to push harder. I made a post, I think it was yesterday, and I literally said, because I work out a lot, like I'm my own personal trainer. And I remember saying to myself, the first sets doesn't matter to me. It's my final sets because it's in the final sets that I literally have to push myself and find all the strength within me to get those last sets in. And that's what matters.
Again, every time I just want to just sit back and just listen to you talk because I get so much from now for myself now listening. I used to be one of those, and I'm still one of those who, again, don't mind speaking, but I'm in this learning phase right now. Just bring out all that information, Let's see, I know I got more questions for you. What advice would you give someone just starting their own business?
Ask a question, create a plan, and first and foremost, understand why it is that you're doing this business.
The why.
Additionally, don't give up your full-time job. A lot of times we make that mistakes and say, hey, you know what? I'm starting my own business and the whole idea of being a CEO. No, forget that. You're going to work so much harder. If you're in this for the long haul, you want to be smart about what it is that you're doing. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Do your research. It is so fundamental. Real life story. So, as I mentioned about trademarking my business. So, when I decided to do this and it was published, the whole process, right? It was published. We got a response from, I think it's Penguin Publishing House, if I'm not mistaken. And they basically said that, you know what, they were like literally telling me I can't use this logo because of the content of my work. So I actually do, it's adult content. My books pretty much already, they're erotic poetry. And they literally said because they publish children's book, it's not going to happen. So my attorney negotiated with them. I have no interest in publishing children's book, to be honest. And if I need to do that, I could create a whole new publishing company. It's not an issue for me. So again, it's like, do your homework, get help if you need help. You don't have to have money to find a lawyer. There are attorneys who do pro bono work. You could get resources. But again, don't sit back and expect. Sometimes we have this expectation that people owe things to us. No, they don't.
What? That is so true.
That self-entitlement that we often have. And even when I mentioned earlier about my crowdfunding and reaching, I'm not mad at those people. I don't know, and it doesn't matter to me. In that moment, I was disappointed and I was hurt, but I understood it because I think sometimes we take things so personal. But if we would stop and focus on what's important, because to me, those are distractors, right? It's distracting you. And this will also, when the tough gets going, this is an indication if this is something that you really want to do. Are you doing it for you, or are you doing it because, when we look around us today, everybody knows everything. And everybody's telling us, oh, the way to go is to start your online business. When we look on social media, it's all over. Everybody's talking about the stats. Everybody's talking about, taking trips, and they are living this flamboyant life. Social media is an illusion. Don't
Thank
get
you.
it twisted. It's an illusion. Although social media is great, I love social media because I've learned so much. But you have to decide what's your why for being on social media.
And there it is again. Gems. If those of you who are listening, those of you who are listening on YouTube, those of you who are listening on Fire TV, those of you who are listening on Verizon, Spectrum, we are all out there. I hope you're writing this stuff down, because these are gems, folks. These are gems. You're not going to find this everywhere. And that's what's so brilliant about the African American community and what we are so passionate about. And you can clearly tell that you are passionate about what you do, not just for us, but what you do for yourself. And that's, again, super important, the why. A lot of people don't understand their why. Understanding how you navigate through, again, what you said was so important, the no. Because we think no means no, never, absolutely not. No means not right now. That's all it means. That's all it means. You need to find those willing participants who believe in you just as much as you believe in you. Because when you can present your belief to someone, if you don't believe it, you're not going to be able to project it so that the other people can believe it as well. And that's what's super important if you're trying to make those connections, whether it be funding connections or whether it just be business connects, just to have a coach or a mentor or someone who can help you navigate through those. So it took a lot for me to even in myself. And another thing that you said that was so, so poignant, the feeling. Let them feelings go. Let them go to the side. Business is not about feelings. It's about doing the job. And if you are up to the task of that job, guess what you're going to find? You're going to find that success. And the first thing to any road to success is showing up. So you got to be there, and it looks like you have been there and you are doing the work. So again, as always, super, super impressed with what you bring to the table. Let's see. How did you deal with fear and doubt?
Fear and doubt, no longer part of who I am.
Excellent.
I think this dates back to from 27 years ago when this happened. But also, I think for me, it's practicing being fearless every single day. If you guys can see I have a whiteboard. I'm a visual learner. I like to see and feel everything. And throughout my home, I have Post-its and I write affirmations all over. I'm big on affirmations. And every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, I'm beautiful and you have nothing to fear. Because I think I'm so grounded with my Savior God, right? And the Bible tells me that, take your burdens or cast your burdens and he will help you carry them. The thing about it, it's like you have to trust in the Lord. Folks, Christians look different and folks can say whatever they want to say. But the relationship that I have with God, it's unbroken. And I talk to him every single day. I don't go to him when I need something. I talk to God every single day like I'm talking to you before I hop out of my bed. And I have these routines that I follow on every single day, and I don't change that. And when you talk about fear, I had a fear of heights, and I said to myself, I got to overcome this. And so I decided to go skydiving. And when I decided to do this, I said to I talked to my friends, and everybody's like, you're too white. I'm not doing that. That is crazy. My little brother said, I'll go with you. I'm like, okay, little brother. And the day off, he's like, I'm not doing that with you. I love you dearly, but I can't do that. And I recall my dad was actually in the nursing home. So my usual, I got up, made my dad his breakfast and everything, drove to White Plains, checked in on my dad, kissed him, loved on him, and say, hey, Papa Smurf, I am heading to Connecticut, 3 hours away. And when I got into that space, was I nervous? Was I fearful? Hell yes. But there were not people who looked like me. And that stood out to me. And I said to myself, baby girl, you got this. And I felt so alone. And at one point, I was like, you know what? I don't think I need to do this. And I had a conversation with God really quickly. And when we were going in that aircraft, ascending into the air, my stomach started turning over and I started cussing to myself. I'm like, I need my mother. I can't do this. But I had no choice. It was too late. And I swear I must have blanked out when it was time for me to jump because I don't recall getting out of that aircraft. And when I landed, I said to myself, I got to do this again because I really want to be present because I want to experience the process. And I'm here to tell you, come Saturday, I'm going for my 5th jump.
Wow.
I'm perfectly okay. And my goal is to get certified so I could jump on my own. The point I'm trying to say is that the things we make deter us from experience the other side of that fear. Jumping out of a plane, it's not a big deal. Everything just looks like broccoli below, and it's the most beautiful experience that anyone could ever have. It's all in your head.
Right. Well, as a former flight attendant, I would never jump out of a perfectly good airplane. As as a soldier, never thought about that at all. But again, hats off to you for doing it because that's a brave leap.
And now, see, when my first jump, nobody jumped. Now I have 6 people going to jump with me on Saturday.
Again, the fear of missing out, I guess. And are you missing out? Not at all.
And I think we have to make a decision on, that was just my example. I think we have to make a decision on what's important to us and what it is that we want to experience out of life. Folks, I believe we have a lot of people who are literally just existing. They're not living. And why are they existing? Because they have a scarcity mindset. They feel as if I can't do this, and they're not giving themselves permission. A part of my bold and who I am, it's giving yourself permission to experience whatever that thing is you want. It starts with you.
As I tell my students, I am a teacher, so I tell my students the understanding of is getting out your own way. Don't let yourself get so caught up in, oh my God, I can't. And that's the first thing to sabotage. And I always like to say that we self-sabotage because we throw these negative words out there. Oh, I can't do this. Well, you can't do it now. Well, what if you put a little, what you said that was so important, practice into it. Practice makes not perfect, but practice gives you experience. And it allows for you to, as you're going through the practices, to make those mistakes and then make the necessary adjustments that help you with understanding, okay, you know what? I got to erase this and now start over, or not even start over, adding some more content, or as you do if you're a cook and a foodie, sometimes you got to add a little bit more hot sauce or whatever that favorite dressing is. You got to add a little bit more, some more salt and pepper, or again, whatever you cook with, herbs and spices. You got to add a little bit more to make that taste just right. And I think in life, we're not quite happy with the meals that we're served or make ourselves, and because we just don't practice enough. Got another question here for you. And where do you see your business in 5 years or 10 years?
That's a great question. So 5 years from now, my goal is to really expand and start taking on new clients in terms of publishing. 5 years from now, my hope is that I'll be able to transition from corporate America to just running this full time, because I think I'm not knocking my 9 to 5. I am grateful for that, but I think my 9 to 5 stifles who I am. I can't be the creative person that I really want to do because I have this structured 9 to 5 that I'm obligated to show up with, right? Um, Hopefully, as well, my goal is to start giving back more to community, not only in Jamaica, but also here in the US, because I think when people think about publishing a book, they're like, traditional publishing process, it takes money. Half of us can't afford that.
Hmm.
And I think there is so much power in our stories, and we need to get these stories out there. So, my goal is to be able to create platforms and spaces where I'm actually running classes to teach folks, free of cost, of course, how to do their own publishing, right? And how to create their own stories. Because I think for me, I'm here to be of service. And the more I can teach, educate, and support my Black and Brown people, that's exactly what I want to do. My success comes from someone saying to me, "Thank you so much. I was able to do this." Because for a Black woman, and it's a migrant, and culturally where I'm from, I was not taught how. I was not given that roadmap. I had to figure it out for myself. So if I could help someone from their young, remember the children are our future.
Hmm.
So if you could start investing in our children and allow them to realize, one, education, I'm not knocking education, but if you have a child who is in the creative arts and you recognize that this child is not leaning towards the traditional educational aspect in life, why not support that child, right? If this child likes to do modeling, why not start nurturing that side of that child, get a coach for that child, or just sitting down with that child and say, hey, if this is what you really want, this is how we're going to do it. So I think that's one of the biggest things for me in 5 years from now. Forget 10 years. I will be really established, of course, and possibly starting another publishing company, of course, because there is like, I need to be able to connect to the children. I want to get them when they're young. And how do you do that? You have to relate to them.
We are like-minded in every sense of the word, because that is what I do every single day when I'm in that classroom, relating. That's why, again, I changed the whole business suit, the tie, the bow tie, the stuffiness, because when I first went into a classroom, they were looking at me like, boy, we're going to eat you alive. We're going to eat you up, because these kids are brutal today. And kids have always had that mentality or that understanding that they tend to be a bit more aggressive. But even though they're super soft and warm and impressionable inside, they tend to put up these exteriors that you kind of have to chip away. And once you do, you get to see that what you're looking for, that you can really mold and shape and develop into the, as you said, the individuals that they truly want to be. If you see someone who has the potential to be a model, if you see someone who has I looked at a student today and I said, wow, your fingers are so long. And that's normally a sign of someone who could probably play the piano. And I said, do you play the piano? And he was like, no, but I like the piano. And I'm like, oh, hello. And it's just, again, these simple observations sometimes that allow for us to tap into something that they themselves might not recognize. So I'm glad that you are someone who, again, you speak so eloquently, and it's with this nurturing care that I believe kids probably draw themselves right to, or probably all people, because I'm drawn right to you just by just our small little conversation. Do you find that to be true, that people find it easy to talk to you and they can share a lot more?
I think so, right? I think because I have an inviting presence, and that means so much to me because, like you mentioned it earlier, I think we walk around and we're so stuffy. We're so stuck in our ways. Like, it's not that serious. I smile every day I wake up. Sometimes I go to work. I remember at one point, folks used to say, like, why are you smiling so much? What are you so happy about? And I'm like, I'm happy that God gave me a gift.
Amen.
I think for me, every day I wake up, it's a gift.
Hmm.
I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted because number one, it's not a guarantee I'm going to wake up. So I think creating that, I have this inner peace that I've created for myself. And my goal is to allow others to come to me. Here I am. Let's talk this through. And oftentimes, I have to say, sometimes folks may take that for granted, right?
Yes.
But there's this tough exterior to me, but there's a time and place for everything.
That's again, you bring. I'm learning so much. I'm going to take every bit of this and I'm going to put it to good use. And I'm going to be reaching back out to you for that publishing thing because I got a good couple of ideas for some ebooks or some books or some things to help people again navigate through some of these challenges that they're going through. What's quality? Yes, please.
Not to cut you off, I think also one of the biggest things that I absolutely adore about myself is my impeccable ability to self-reflect. The woman you're talking to right now is a healed woman. If you have not healed, you could never show up with so much confidence. And when I say healed, I had to be honest with myself. I think that's one of the biggest things and one of the greatest achievements in my entire life is my ability to say to Marie, you're messing up. Every single day, at the end of my day, I reflect and I say to myself, what could I have done differently? Did I intentionally hurt someone? And if I did, I'm going to apologize to that person because no matter, even if you're the president of the United States, I don't care who you are, you got to be able to take accountability for your own actions. And I believe it is a coward who is fearful of taking accountability for their actions that's not able to say they did something wrong or to apologize. Nobody is bigger than the law. This is why we have laws, right? And we have due process because eventually it's going to get caught up to you. But like I said to folks, healing is of paramount importance. I see a therapist. I have my routine that I follow. My routine includes I journal every single day because journaling helps me to keep me grounded and it heightens my self-awareness and it also allows me to plan more effectively. Because when you're writing down everything, I can always go back to it at some point in time. And that's how I learn and that's how I grow. Like I've been talking throughout this interview, God is my rock. I have a relationship with God. I talk to him every single day. And I also have a specific journal. I have multiple journals. One of my journals every morning, I have a gratitude journal. And I write 3 things that I'm grateful for. This morning and every morning, this goes into it. Grateful for life. This morning, I was grateful for sunshine and I was grateful for having my vacation. That's simple things I write in my journal to be grateful for. Oftentimes we think we have to have a house or we have to have a $50,000 deposit in our account or whatever. No, it's the simple things. Oftentimes I'm grateful for sight, to be able to see, to be able to talk, to have food on my table. And I celebrate myself. That's one of the big things. If I do something and I think it's worth celebrating, I do it. This morning, I ran 3 miles. I was planning to run 2 miles. I ran 3 miles. And guess what? I took an extra time in the shower to have like a nice hot shower. It's the simple things that you do.
I love it. The heal, and I think we need to spend time healing. And just again, you don't have to go to the doctors. You need to do it with your own environment and heal. I do it all the time. I never really realized what I was doing until you just said it right now. I love my isolation. I love being by myself a lot of the time because it allows for me to clear out a lot of the noise because we're doing so much to help people and give them, the best of ourselves. And a lot of times you have to go back and you have to spend some time with yourself to realize, okay, you know what? I love what I'm doing, but I still have to heal to make sure that I'm getting the right information. And I love your spiritual connection because it took me a while too to get that understanding from God. And even though we are exchanging our words and our thoughts, a lot of that is coming from the Creator because He gives it to us to allow for us to be able to make sure. And I think a lot about making sure that whatever I'm giving people, I do my research on. I'm not just going to just throw out any old type of information because, again, you never know who's going to use or what portions of that information are they going to use. And you just want to make sure that whatever they use, it's going to be beneficial. If it's beneficial to me, it might not necessarily be beneficial to the individual receiving that information. But if it is of value and content, it might not be that for that person, but it might be something for someone else down the road. So again, I love being able to talk to you and just draw in on the importance of what you bring to the table because it means a lot. And I'm hoping that those who are listening to this are also picking up some of these qualities that I think we all should be more or less leaning towards. Having someone in your corner that's going to help you is a true plus, and having someone who's so grounded and so connected and so full of love, it's even that much more important. Would you call yourself a small business owner? Would you call yourself an entrepreneur? How would you really label your entity or you?
Honestly, I don't do labels.
I love it. Thank you.
I would just say I am here doing God's work. I am trusting the process, and every single thing I do, I allow God to lead me.
Amen.
Timing is everything. I don't put pressure on myself because I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we have in our society today, because there's this need for instant gratification, right? And there's this rush to get everything done. I don't do that because I'm not competing with anyone. I'm here as a messenger. God is working through me, and I'm just here to deliver. That's all.
As I say, I could go on and on and on, but we are down to our last 13 minutes. I'm going to do a speed round with you. And okay. Again, if you can answer it, great. If you cannot, favorite color?
Red and yellow.
Red and yellow.
Yes.
Favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team? I don't have a favorite sports team.
No sports?
Sorry to disappoint you. No. Sorry to disappoint you. I do sports, but I don't have a favorite team, to be honest.
Okay, good. Favorite pastime?
Favorite pastime? Relaxing in my house and just doing nothing.
I like that. That's great. If you had $1 million, what would be the first thing you would do?
If I had $1 million, the first thing I would do is go back to Jamaica and donate it to the hospitals.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
Why? Give me a little bit of understanding.
Because our medical system in Jamaica, let me take that back. I wouldn't donate it like that. I would figure out what the need is and provide it. Let me take that back. Let me correct that. I think our medical system, in a third world country, we still have so much evolution to do. I've often said to myself, I would return to Jamaica, but I don't think I can because of the medical system. And I hear so much horror stories in Jamaica right now. Again, if you don't have money, your life doesn't have a value anymore in Jamaica. So that's how I'd figure out how to create a system so I could help others. That's what I would do with my $1 million.
I love it. Now, I'm a credit guy. I always talk about this part, so I want to dive into it just a little bit here. Now, I'm sure that you have exceptional financial understanding because, again, you're probably doing extremely well for yourself. What tips could you give a young entrepreneur or a new startup about how they should be managing their finances?
Number one, I think you should sit down with a credit counselor and figure out what's going on with your credit. You got to fix your credit. Don't just go ahead and get a loan just because. You need to have a business plan, a smart business plan. You need to get a mentor. Whatever field it is or business that you're trying to get into, find someone who's good at it. You could go to YouTube. YouTube have a lot of information. You just have to decide, do your research. those are the top three things I would say to someone who wants to start a business.
And since you started your business financially, would you say you're on the right path, or do you still have to kind of maneuver things around financially to make the not going to say the ends meet, because the ends are obviously meeting very, very well. But I mean, there was probably some challenges. How did you overcome those?
So I would say I'm on the right path. And I got a new car. I got a car again. I did not get a Mercedes Benz this time because I am smart and making smart decisions.
Amen.
I got a car to be able to take me around. That's what I did. Right. What was your question again? Sorry, I got distracted.
How did you navigate through those challenges financially?
Okay. Yes. And absolutely, I made a lot of sacrifices. I made a lot of sacrifices, and I want folks to hear that. It's not easy. I want to go on trips. I want to go hang out with my friends. Can't do that because I set short-term goals for myself. And that's how I get through. I'm like, this quarter, this is what I hope to achieve. So it may mean I can probably only go to the nail shop once this month. Guess what? You're going to have to do your nails yourself. I have natural hair. Maybe I won't go and get my hair done. I will do my hair myself. So it's like simple things that we could do that you don't even realize you're saving. I don't buy food outside. I cook. I pack my lunch bag. Sometimes instead of me driving on White Plains Road and having to pay for park, I walk. That's burning calories, right? And that's me having control and not spending money for parking.
It is. You again. I hope that individuals. I've been tweeting it out. I've been putting it on Facebook. I've been putting it on my social media platforms, because this is so important for women to hear from other women about how they can make it happen. They can make it work. They can do these things. You have empowered me to want to make sure that I do my things even better. So they have to. I hope that everybody does take the time to not only listen to this show, but go back and listen to your shows. Could you please tell us what time frame are you, and where can they find you on Soul City Network? When can we see you again?
So I am on Soul City Network on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So you got 1 hour to go get you some some lunch and some dinner, or whatever time frame it is, and she's gonna be right back on here delivering even more of that content. I have your information here. So your website is www.bboldtoya.com.
Yes, that's Toya. We didn't even get into that. Toya is my alter ego.
There we go.
Amazing. That's a whole different conversation. She's amazing.
I love it. We all have our own little alter egos, and that's awesome that you alluded to that, because yes, we should have asked a little bit more in that. But
that's
it goes so fast. It's an amazing hour, no question. I see here that they put up your telephone number, so if you want to get in touch with Marie Dunn, you can reach her at this telephone number, business line 347-589-1426. And again, that www.bboldtoya.com. Again, you're going to learn a lot from Marie. She's someone that I can also myself say. And yes, by all means, Instagram, I am _Marie Dunn. Do you have any other social media platforms, or is this the only one that you're using currently?
So the I am Marie, that also goes for my Facebook. And then there is my Be Bold Toya. That's my poetry page. And yeah, so we'll leave it at that. I don't like to confuse people because there's so much that's going on to me.
Really?
So that's my main page, and you could connect with me that way. Because again, like I said, I'm just here to be of service.
Again, Marie, I could talk to you for hours. It's always a blessing to have a bright, brilliant, beautiful African-American woman who understands who they are, who has that connection with the Almighty Spirit, and is about community and doing what they need to be doing. Anything else you want to share before we wrap this up?
Absolutely. Change your mind,
Mm.
change your life.
Oof.
It's
There
all
it
in
is.
your head. You have to learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Oof. Could
And
you say that one more time? Could you say that one more time?
you must learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Mm. Amen.
We gotta ruffle those feathers. It's okay. Give yourself permission and remember you're freaking awesome. Don't worry about what anybody wants to say. Believe in who you are as an individual and be bold, whatever your bold is.
There it
Thank
is.
you so
I,
much.
Marie, thank you for giving me a part of your afternoon and your day. I can't wait to do this again with you because you bring so much joy, not just to uh, just the viewers of today. The opportunities, as I said, that I've had the time to spend with you on in two occasions. I always walked away with even more of an appreciation for me, and now I have even more of a fond appreciation of you. So thank you so much for what you do. Continue to keep doing, keep blessing our communities, keep loving you first and foremost, because that love definitely resonates when you are speaking with those of us who appreciate you in the manner in which we do. So thank you for taking the time out. I look forward to our next encounter. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Marie Dunn from Bold. Marie is an amazing, I hope you enjoyed this interview that I had with Marie. She's an amazing personality. She's an amazing, beautiful woman, as you already have noticed. Definitely connect with her if you are unsure how to. Again, her number is 347 589 1426. Website is www.BBOLDTOYA.com. Please connect with her. This is a great opportunity. Her Instagram is I am underscore Marie Dunn. Connect with this young lady. If you need some boldness, if you need to get away from the fear and all of the distractions and things that are keeping you from, again, a woman of God, someone who understands her role and what she must do and provide for us, those are, of us who might be feeling a bit vulnerable, feeling less bold. This is a great way for you to find that connection. And I've said it over and over and over, and I say it constantly. It's about our network that is going to increase our net worth. So get out there and connect with wonderful individuals like Marie. You can find her, as she stated, Tuesdays at 8 o'clock right here on Soul City Network. You can also find our other wonderful colleague and mentor, that's Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, here equally on Thursdays. And I can't wait to have Dr. Yana B., who's our financial guru and my mentor, someone who always says, if you don't have a plan to succeed, you have a plan to fail. And Marie brought that up about having a plan, things that you're going to need to make sure that you're doing as you move through your journeys. My name is Tyrone Glover, ladies and gentlemen. I am your Dress Down CEO. I want to thank you for giving me part of your Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you back here again next Tuesday as we dive into the content that we always bring you, which is helping you leverage that score, getting you to a more of a financial status that's going to allow for you not to just make it through the day, but make it through the decades. I love you. I appreciate you, America. Be safe. Continue to travel well, and I can't wait to see you on that next occasion. Be safe, America.